And happy to see that many students are here today, including both mechatronics and manufacturing compared to previous sessions. So because of your attendance, I will assure that there will be a question from this today's session. Yeah. Okay. And today's session has little connection with the environmental management and cleaner production as well. But anyway, I start this with sustainable development goals. Actually, these are in the syllabus. These are in the syllabus. So why are we having sustainable development goals? This is the UN established some goals. There are 17 goals established by the UN for the world. Yeah, for the world. Yeah. Simply because this so-called development is not sustainable. When the development is not sustainable for the world, we won't say world is developed. That is not possible. It is not possible for the world to have several countries developed, some less developed, and some marginally, and you cannot have that kind of variations. Variations are there, means the world is not developed. Yeah. So, and the reality is, you cannot have a developed world. That is not possible. Yeah. That looks not realistic. Sustainable development. There can be goals. Yeah. Goals, sustainable development goals to achieve the sustainable development for the world. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good try. It's a good try, and this is a good approach, no matter how hard, how challenging this for the world. So, the sustainable development goals. Let's say the world can have goals. Even we can have goals. Yeah. Our country can have goals. But let's say how reasonable this sustainable development defined by the United Nations means the world body. Okay, and let's see. Okay, yeah, by the way, what's the meaning of development? What's the meaning of development? So it is very important when you hear this, when you notice this kind of words. Yeah, what this means, that is very important. Yeah, it is very important to understand what this development means for you, for your village, for your families, for your living area, for your towns and cities, for the country. What this development means, and also what would be a meaningful development. Yeah. What development for you is something, but what's a meaningful development is another thing. Yeah. And it is very important to understand a meaningful development and this so-called uh, just developments. Okay, so-called just developments. Yeah. So-called just developments. So, do you have any idea what the development means? Yeah. Yeah. It depends from person to person. It depends. Yeah. Development means. Yeah. It depends from person to person. Yeah. So let me explain a little bit. Okay. Uh, some new dimension, new concept for development. Yeah. Hassan is there, but I hope Hassan also can understand. Singhal is a bit. So let me explain a little bit a Sinhala word. Even Hassan can understand and try to understand Hassan.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Puta. Thank you very much. Yeah. So thanks for your permission. Yeah. Development in the sense in our Sinhalese language we call Sangvardhana. Okay, Sangvardhana. So what is Sang? Sang. Sang means addition. Sankhya. Okay, Sankhya means we call it for numbers generally. So Sang means something like collecting. Okay, something like gathering. That's what we call Sang. Sang. We call ekatu kirim Sang. Ekatu karane vata begin Sankhya. Okay, so the uh, gathering Sangvardhan. Yeah. So gathering wealth may be Sangvardhan. And Sang has another meaning. Sang, the other meaning from the ancient, the historical dialects, Sang means Raga means asa, Dvesa means taraha, Moha means comparison. Okay, so Raga, Dvesha, Moha, which means the asa, the lustfulness, greed. Hmm? Dvesa means anger, and Moha means compare. Now you see in the world, every time when you interact, either within ourselves, what appearing is greed, okay? What appearing is anger, what appearing is comparison. No matter what the activities are, if you think of ourselves, we can see that greed, anger, and compare each other, measure. Yeah, these three are there. Yeah. So that is the original meaning of sang. So actually, so if that is sang, Vardhana means you can see day by day, we are really working on this sang. What? Greed and anger and the comparison, the measurements, high and low, the big and small, rich and poor. Yeah, we are educated, less educated, professional, less population, less professional, this degree, that degree, this university, that university. So you can see the comparisons a lot, and also anger a lot, and also the greed a lot. Yeah. So without these three, it will be a bitter world. It will be a bitter world. But with these three now, we are defining Samvardhan. Let's say, yeah, I will tell you a simple example, okay? Yeah, but don't find faults with me. So I will take one of the biggest companies here, okay? I will take one of the biggest companies because we need the case studies, okay? Yeah, let's say Group. You know that it's a big group. It's a very rich group, Abans. Okay, even Colombo City Center built and operated by Abans. What are they doing? Yeah, they are selling. They are selling what? Computers, cell phones, household appliances, air conditioners, refrigerators, electronic gadgets, even that kind of many things they are what they are doing, they are selling to you and we buy from them. And they import those. They never produce any of the things. Even the pin they are selling, they are not producing here. So, but uh, we we feel that they are really contributing to the development of the country, but without manufacturing anything, eh, and without manufacturing anything, without putting any value additions, just bringing the things and selling. We call it the deals. That's why we call they are the dealers. Yeah. So their businesses are simply the deals. So to me, a farmer is greater than the Abans group. Yeah. To me, a retail shop person in a village is someone is with the more holistic values. So that's what we can see. So we can see the businesses whether they are supporting the developments for the sustainability, what they are contributing. Of course, when they bring in the items and provide for us to use computers, the laptops, telephones, smartphones, gadgets, we are using it for our benefit. So they are, of course, they are giving some positive impact to the society. But if they can do at least some manufacturing, they cannot do the mobile phone manufacturing, not possible. But they can at least start a refrigerator plant, some air conditioning plant if possible. Those are very good. Of course, they are on the Abans, they do the Colombo municipality, the cleaning contract. They took the contract and they are doing the cleaning and all. Anyway, they have some sustainable support aspects, but very little. Okay, very little. So we have to see how they are supporting for the real development. Okay, real development. Okay, so that is one example that they are gathering wealth. So if that is going to be the Sangvardhana or development, yeah, that is good for them, but not good for the others. Yeah, not good for the others. Yeah. So that's why when it comes to the consumers, yeah, so you have to be very responsible. That's why it is very important to buy the locally produced ones. Yeah. And there is a motto for that. Yeah, go for, I cannot remember the motto, but with the sign there, always support the locally produced one. It helps for the sustainable development somehow. Yeah. So I'm not condemning or anything for the brands and the businesses, but what they are doing is not a big deal. What they are doing is not a big deal. Farmer in the village, at least they produce something, rice or vegetables or whatever, and they support the communities to fill their stomach. Yeah. So they are doing something good job. Yeah. We have to support them as well. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, all these discussions are really relevant. So when you work for the company or when you work for your own, so you have to think what you are doing. Is this really supporting the development for the society, or is it helping for your own development? Because we can see in Sri Lanka a lot of businesses. They think of the gathering wealth. See the even junction, in every junction you can see what? Liquor shops. We call Delkadagil again, liquor shops. Yeah. And almost all the politicians, they have liquor shops. Yeah. See, see what businesses are they doing? Isn't it very shameful? Or they have some dealerships like the gas supply or the petrol sheds, liquor shops, cigarette agencies. So these are the businesses the politicians are taking and doing. So see how pathetic the country, how shameful the country, the leaders, the people, representative, what they are doing. Even some are transporting narcotics, kansa, ganja, and the heroin, all the things. Some are transporting, some are helping. Even we can see now the police. They are the narcotic bureau police people. They are also doing very dirty things. See how the society getting corrupted. Yeah. See how society getting corrupted. Bring the society, the politicians, the lawmakers, the peacemakers. Then the law and order keepers like police, even the STF involved in these drug rackets and all now. All things are surfacing up. See how pathetic, how terrible the country is doing. So when they are doing that way, the people are helpless. That's the situation. So somehow we have to be aware of this. So we have to be aware of this. We should reject that kind of politicians, that kind of people. We should reject really, and we should at least we should be right for to our conscience. We call yeah. We should follow our heart. We should be good-hearted. So whatever you are doing, no matter simple, you may be doing a very simple job. Yeah, you may be studying technology, but you will be a farmer. Fine. Yeah, you have to think how qualitative your contribution for the goodness of the people, for the goodness of the society. Yeah, that's why. So this subjects anyway giving a very good directions for all of us. Yeah. And also, as I mentioned to you, when we study, we should study not only for us but for the other people as well. Because there are a lot of people they miss the learning opportunities because opportunities are limited. Since we got the opportunity, we should learn not only for us but also on behalf of the others. Yeah. So when we work not only for us but also for the others as well, that's why. So we should be very good-hearted, very generous, young adults. Yeah. So those attitudes are extremely important than any technical knowledge. Yeah. Good attitudes produce good leaders. People with good attitudes can provide good leaderships. Yeah. We need good leaders, good leaderships. Yeah. And of course, technologists we need, yeah, as a blend of leader and technologists together. Yeah. So you can do the changes, yeah, as the young generation, but the previous generations, senior to you, even like our generations, even generations in between you and me, they are not going doing the things right for you and the societies. Yeah. I don't know how to make these societies good. Anyway, those are very challenging, but somehow within our limits, within our capacities, we have to be right, we have to do right, we have to be good, we have to do good. Yeah, that is the important thing. Yeah, so that is very important, the very basics, being a good human being. Yeah, that is very important. Yeah. So, developments. So, when it comes to development, you should have a good understanding. When you have a good understanding about the developments, if you take the true meaning of the developments, and that development should be free of this greed, anger, and comparisons. Then you are free. Then you are free. Once you are free, you are fulfilled. You are already fulfilled. Then you have started. You are starting your career with the fulfillment. Yeah, you are not going to be compared. Huh? You agreed anyway. Everybody has desires, but you should have some very good understanding and the reasoning of the desires. Yeah, and you should be level-headed with very calm, cool, good personalities. Yeah, then you are done. When you are entering to the field, to the job, you are done at first. There you can start. So going by bus, going by bicycle, walking, taking a train or taking a small car or taking a big car or driving a Merc, no matter, no much difference for you. Yeah. Because you are not getting compared. Yeah. So you should project your personality, your qualities instead of projecting your wealth to the society. We should not be uh, wealth, wealth harnessing people, but we can have a wealth to do something for the society, not to show off to the others. Huh? Yeah. So those who show off, they are wealth. Let them show off, but we will have our very good mindsets, and we will do whatever contribution we can do. Yeah. Even for decision making, your understanding of development, your philosophical understanding of development is very important. Yeah. Development is not just building the skyscrapers, the huge buildings, but of course the cities. They need the hotels, they need the office complexes, so they have to use the small footprints. So they need the multi-stories, mega structures. That is fine with reasoning. So we need port city fine because we need to expand. So those are something useful projects. We won't say we should be primitive. We should we should look for the solutions, and those things we call not the development but the solutions. Yeah, the solutions for the hotel, the rooms, the hotel accommodation, limited for the future. So we need the solution. If solution is building multi-stories, we should go for that. If the solution is to develop a port city, we should go for that. If the solution is to develop overhead highways and the monorails and the mass rapid transits, fine, we should go for that. So those are the solutions. Yeah. So instead of developments, it's better to call this the solutions. Yeah, solutions. Yeah, that is very important. Even you can forecast the for coming 5 to 10 years, how would be the traffics and all. So we will ready with the solutions. And the solutions may be the so-called developments, but when you say this, you should see those as solutions. Yeah. So when you need solutions like driving a vehicle, you possessing a vehicle, having a house and all. So then you can explore. Shall I go for multi-stories or single stories in a village level? So that solution, you have to define your own solution, not comparing with the others. Yeah. So if you are comparing, you are on a race. Once you are on a race, everybody, those who are on the race, one day will be a loser. Yeah. Nobody wins the races. Temporary, yes, but when you take the lifelong, yeah, races, one day those who are on the race will be a loser. That is the natural phenomenon. That's why. So don't get compared, don't get competed with others, and don't compete with others as well. Be your own. So let's go to the subject now. තේරුණානේ කියපටි අපි ඉතින් මේ වයසක මිනිස්සු වගේ ඔය චුට්ටක් තේරෙනවා. But at your age we didn't have any clue of this, you know. Sustainable development, when it comes to the UN, they identified this, and of course we are not going to totally accept, but when we review this, we feel that yes, this development is quite reasonable. Okay. In the UN, sustainable development is defined as a collection of five, as a combination or as a blend of five aspects. Yeah, five aspects. Yeah. People. People means earlier we called this social. Okay. Another P is prosperity. I hope you can see the slide. Prosperity. Earlier we called this economic. And the left side, the green color one, we can see planet. Earlier we called this environment. Environment. So people, social prosperity, economic, planet, environment. Socio-economic, environmental. So these three are earlier considered something the so-called developments must address these three: socio-economic, environmental. Before that, economic. Sorry, before that, economics. Yeah, but later become socio-economic. Now become socio-economic, environmental plus two more. We can see there are conflicts. Okay, conflicts in different forms. Not only the war. Conflicts doesn't mean only the wars. Okay, even the income gaps, the gap between the rich and poor, all social stresses. Yeah, you may not see some violence, but the conflict environment is there, the stressful environment. That's why the peace is very important. And the partnership means no one can win the sustainable development alone. That's why the sharing the knowledge, materials, resources, the sharing, information, data, whatever, the partnership is very important. So to achieve socio-economic, environmental successes, we need this peace and partnerships as well. So together, these five P's as a collection represent sustainable development. Sustainable development. Okay, sustainable development. So you can see people, there are main things in poverty and hunger, because people need to live first. Their stomach should be filled somehow daily. So still there are people, they are searching for the meals. Yeah. So for you and me, meal maybe come to the table, but not for all. So in that sense, we all are somehow lucky ones. At least 1-2 meals a day we are receiving, but in many parts of the world still meal is a luxury. Food is a luxury. Yeah, that's why. So still the world cannot eradicate poverty, and still world is struggling to be hunger free and poverty free. So still this is what the world is aspiring to be. See how pathetic. Yeah. So when you have poverty and hunger, when you talk about the prosperity, ensure prosperous and fulfilling lives in harmony with nature. Yeah, words are very nice. But this poverty and hunger because of the lack of prosperity, lack of opportunities. Yes, lack of opportunities to live, lack of opportunities to find some means to have the food and lodging. That's why. So those are the economics issues. Yeah, actually, prosperity is something more than economy. Okay, prosperity is something more than economy. Yeah, you can be a smaller economy, but still you can be prosperous. Yeah, yeah. Can you remember for the New Year wishes? Or some wishes for some New Year's or some special events. So we wish you happy, prosperous. Can you remember? Peaceful New Year. So we wish that. eh? Wish you happy, prosperous, peaceful New Year. We wish for that. Why we are wishing? Because our happiness is not fulfilled. Our prosperity is not fulfilled. The minds are not peaceful. Stresses are there. hmm, Because of the stresses. Yeah, there are some even health issues, depressions and all. Yeah. Lives become imbalanced. Social, the lifestyles become different. Some they sleep in the morning, wake up at night. Some whole nights they wake up. Some they won't go to bed at night unless they feel sleepy. So they are very strange. Even some of you may have. Yeah, that's why. So you can see you no need any big wisdom to observe this. People, power and hunger. Prosperity means fulfilling lives. Uh, uh, Incomes for living. Yeah, many people asking not much. Yeah, but some people are greedy. That's why the somehow some people are greedy and they are doing not the productive things. Instead of trading, if they can invest on an industry somehow, people get employment. Yeah, see, people get employment. So that help to fulfill their hunger, to support the families, to live with something for their stomach and a shelter for them. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you see the people are somehow struggling, but some are gathering wealth. So you have to understand this. So the social means the people factor, economic, the prosperity factor, environmental, the planet factor. So we will say actually environment, it is not development. You have to protect the nature. You have to protect the nature. Some people we can see they cut the trees to develop the lands, but quite fun. Those are not developments. Those idiot people, they don't know what development means. Sometimes there are notices. Sangvardhane Karanala the Idam for sale. Cut all the trees, all the valuable trees and everything, and then they make it valueless and they call it is developed. Quite fun. Yeah. So we have that kind of evil business people. You should reject that kind of ideologies. So, US adults, young adults, and now looking for some employments and opportunities. So you define, yeah, what kind of living am I going to have? Yeah. So what kind of living opportunities am I going to accept? And all the things. Yeah. So it is very important. Yeah. So even when you select a job, sometimes your job in a company, that company may not be that supporting the socio-economic environmental, but you may be paid very high salaries. Example, CTC salaries are very high. The reason is Ceylon Tobacco Company. Yeah, is not good for environment, not good for people, but for economy, yes, their salaries are high. So instead of going for that, even if you feel good to go for half of the salary for a better one with more sustainable, yeah, you can opt for that. Yeah, it's up to you, and one day you will be successful. Yeah, that's why. So even when you select your job opportunities, you can make the decisions. When you select some businesses, you can make the decision. Yeah, whether you go for if you take two simple businesses. Let me say an example: making bricks, and the other is cutting trees or making timber. So which one is more profitable? Of course, making timber is profitable. Making bricks, very hard, very harsh, marginal. Yeah, the life is tough, but the making team just buy some trees, get the licenses to cut, and then you saw it, transport to somewhere else for them to produce something. Simple, but it's up to you. But you can see the two different nature of business. Yeah. You have a right to cut a plant or a tree. That is fine, but at least when you cut a tree, at least if you plant 100 plants, yeah, then your deal with the environment, I would say it is done. That's why there are ways and means. Yeah. Yeah, cutting a tree is okay, but if you at least if you pay back with 100 plants to the nature, yeah, that is good. Yeah. So there are some that kind of transactions you can do with the nature. Yeah. So you can be smart on that. Yeah. So let me go to the other side slides. Yeah, before that, we call this 5 Ps. 5 P. People, prosperity, peace, partnerships, and planet. Don't try to remember this. Don't try to memorize. But when you think of this, you can have a little memory of this. You can have a little memory of this. People start from you. You need some way of living. Prosperity comes. Your environment is important. Planet comes. Yeah. So your peaceful living, harmonious life, equal rights, equal wealth for all. The peace comes. And to achieve all, yes, you cannot achieve alone. So whole world need partnerships. Yeah, that's all. You can combine all the peace and you can have a very nice mind map. Even in the exam, when we ask about this, you can just write. Yeah, no need to have much memories because you are now adults to observe and understand this, and you can write on your own words. Yeah. The same 5 P's sustainable development. I got this from something like a consultancy website there. Yeah. So again, what prosperity means, what partnerships, peace, planet, people, that is mentioned there. Okay. But till you digest this, you have to digest this because when you digest, when you about whatever the things you combinedly look into this, yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's how you are going to value any activity. So I put here in the of the people, it's mentioned that people, we are determined to end poverty and hunger in all their forms and dimensions, and to ensure that all human beings can fulfill their potential in dignity and equality and in a healthy environment. Yeah. Anyway, definitions are there. No, don't worry about the definitions. Yeah. Still, power and hunger is there even in Sri Lanka. You don't believe. Malnutrition to the fullest, yeah, including you and me. Our nutritions are not balanced. We all are malnutrition. Maybe starting from the president. Yeah. If your food, the nutritions are not balanced, imbalance, naturally malnutrition is there. You see in US the way the COVID-19 is spreading. Why? Lack of immunity. Because the nutritions are not balanced means malnutrition people. Though they may be big, fat, big bellies and all. So they eat more, but anyway they are not healthy. Their nutritions are not balanced and they are, of course, malnutritious people. So that's about the, anyway, you can look into this. Partnerships, we are determined to mobilize the means required to implement this agenda, means this sustainable development agenda, through a revitalized global partnerships for sustainable development, because for the world has to achieve this sustainable development, of course, it has to be a collective effect. Collective effect. Yeah, collective effect. It's a global solidarity or the spirit of strengthened global solidarity with the participation of all countries, all stakeholders, and all people. Yeah, because prosperity is for the people, peace is for the people, planet is for the people, and people are for the people. Okay, and we all are together. And so we are all together and we are all for us. Yeah, that's all. When අපි කියලා තියෙන්නේ. So that those are really the partnerships and how the responsibilities, how you are taking the social responsibilities. Okay, peace. Yeah. See the peace. We are determined to foster peaceful, just, reasonable, and inclusive. Inclusive means no one is excluded. Okay, no matter the gender, no matter the religion, no matter the ages, you all are included in this development. No one left out. Okay, right for education, right for employment, right for democracy, so whatever, right for the food, right for the uh, health facilities, and yeah, people have also. If no one is, none is excluded means all are included means that is what we call inclusive societies. Yeah. So such inclusive societies are free from fear and violence. When the people have what they need, of course, reasonable needs, there are no fear and violence. So wherever fear and violence, it is the issue of inclusiveness. So when there is no peace, there can be no sustainable development. So there can be no sustainable development without peace. And also there is no peace without sustainable development. So again, this is the cause and effect. If you need peace, you have to have sustainable development. If you need to have sustainable development, you have to have peace. Same way. If you need to have the sustainable development, you have to take care of the planet. Yeah. If you have to have the good planet and at the same time to have the peace, you have to have the sustainable development again. So something like that. Without prosperity, no point of talking sustainable development. Yeah. So sustainable developments need prosperity. Prosperity needs sustainable development. So all are interrelated. Absence of anything make it imbalances, make it impossible to achieve this. Yeah. So that's why you can see how important the policy decisions, policy making, policy implementations. Yeah. So these are really very important things. The policies, guidelines, and even the measurements, the yardsticks, all the things related to developments, all should be inclusive. And now the technology also part of this. So technology is everywhere. So without technology, you cannot have prosperity. Without technology, you cannot have peace. Yeah. So absence of technologies, partnerships are very not that strong. So technology also now is something like a very important ingredient of all the five P's. And you all are technology students. Yeah. You all are technology students. And one day you will be experts and you will be within this with your expertise. That's why this understanding is important for you to give directions and leaderships for the societies. Don't wait politicians to set the directions for you. That is not possible. But anyway, In the future, we can be hopeful, but anyway, we have to wait and see. But anyway, we should know those things. Yeah. So that is very important. If the policymakers, those who are in the parliament, we have the liquor shops and all, the narcotic agencies, cigarette agencies, when they do the dealings, yeah, that is quite challenging. Okay, good. So further down, this sustainable development goals, that 5P is one way, again identified as 17 aspects. Okay, as 17 key goals are there. So 17 sustainable development goals. This is quite well known but now. Huda, can you hear me? I know the Guinea. I know the Guinea. Yeah. Hello. Can you see the slides? I hope you can see the slides. Yeah. I know it. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So number one, poverty, no poverty. Zero, hunger. Third, health and well-being, good health and well-being. Fourth, related to education. Five, related to gender equality, no discriminations, gender-based, not to say discrimination, but the preferences. We will say preferences, no gender-based preferences. So instead of discrimination, we will use the word preferences. Okay. And the clean water and sanitation. Yeah. Affordable and clean energy. Okay. Decent work and economic growth. Okay. Item 1 to 8. So we will read again, and we will feel this sustainable development goals. Of course, first thing is no one should be hungry. Okay. And no one should be poor. Okay, that is 1 and 2. If you are poor, yeah, if we are poor, yeah, our hunger cannot be solved. We have the health issues. We have no access to good health if we are poor. The education, we may have disadvantages. That's why. So generally, the definition of poverty may be if you have the hunger, if you have no access to health and well-being, okay, good health facilities and all, and if you are deprived of education and the gender discriminations are there or gender preferences are there and clean water and sanitation are scarce. Imagine, even though you have money, you are poor. Okay, so you can define it that way. The poverty means it's not about the money. Okay, poverty means it's not about the money. If the government can provide some solutions, not to say feed the people, solutions, social solutions, socio-economic solutions, yeah, to eradicate hunger, to assure the good health and well-being, the access to the good standard healthcare systems and all, and ensure fair education, irrespective of gender, you get all the fair share and you have access to clean water and sanitation. See, we would say we are not poor. Okay? If the poverty is connected with the income or dollars and cents, we have issues. We have issues. Now, poverty related to dollars and cents. Yeah, if you cannot earn, you are poor. But Let's say even in some countries there can be economies. Example, in China, you are working for the country, your salary is very less. Even for a professor, the salary is very small salary for Chinese professor. But he is not poor. Even a worker get a small salary. They are not poor because their hunger, health, education, and also no gender preferences and clean water and sanitation are assured. Then people are not poor. You know? Yeah, it is not a question of income, but the question of how you are facilitated. To understand, yeah, how you are facilitated. That is very important. That is extremely important. Never link income to the poverty. So we have to have new economic policies, new economic directions, to overcome poverty and to get the link between the poverty and the income. This should be, not to say de-link, but the link in between these two should not be strong. That's why now in our societies, if someone is very rich, they have no issues. That is the situation because everything becomes business. Yeah, everything become enterprises. Fine, but not all can be good earners. Not all can be good makers of money, but everyone can be contributors. Yeah. Somehow contributors should be valued by taking care of their needs. You can understand, Putala. That's why you have to aware these things. And those are much more, this wisdom, having this wisdom is much more important than the technology subjects you are learning. Yeah, you are learning. So you should look for the social, the solutions for the society. You should offer solutions for the society rather than trying yourself to survive. Of course, you have to survive first, but you should be, you should be more strong, not only for your survival, but for the others to serve. Two, to help someone to get rid of poverty, which means you may not be paying heavy salaries, but somehow supporting. How to create the cause for not to get hunger, not to have hunger. Right? Yeah, you can support the good health and well-being. Maybe if you develop something of very good, nutritious, affordable, some product, even the low-income people can buy. Yours contribution is done, even at your young age. Yeah. Okay. So you have to think a lot of this. Right? Then item 7, affordable and clean energy. You know, when we live in this world, we need resources. And one of the key resources happen to be energy. Solar is free, but solar, okay, because of the sun's energy, now we have derived different types of energies. Hydroelectric, then the coal-based electric, thermal electric. So we have that kind of, and the windmills or whatever. So we can see different energy forms. The petrol, diesel, fuel for the automobiles and transportation and all. So even the electricity, lighting for the houses. So affordable and clean energy is a requirement for people now. Now, it's a requirement. That's how the society is now getting shaped into. Yeah. So you need decent work and economic growth. So now you are one person, one day you will be two, two will be three, four, and so on. You have to take care of your parents. Yes. Then you have to have your own economic growth. So how to have a decent work? Decent in the sense a clean environment, a green environment, reasonably paid, your work is quite ethical, less stress, and it gives some happiness to you to work. The decent working and economic growth should be assured somehow. That's why. So that's why you should try to be your own boss. Start something, get it improved, understand this sustainable development. Yeah, you can move forward and you can support others. And item 9 is the innovations, industry and infrastructures. So those are the only the governments can look into this, but innovations you can look into. You can look even individually. You can think of the industries and innovations. Yeah, inequalities, the comparisons. Yeah, so there are issues. That is item 10. Item 11 is sustainable cities and communities. We would say this, as I mentioned to you. Can you remember? I use the word solution. Okay, solutions for the housing and all will be the cities and communities sustainable cities and communities, and then responsible consumption and production. So that is our subject here. We call sustainable consumption and production. Okay. So that is responsible consumption and production. So sustainable, it gives more meaning. And these goals are in your syllabus. That's why I'm discussing today this one. These goals are in your sustainable consumption and production syllabus. And 13 is climate action. Climate action has a meaning. Instead of we are talking about environment, climate action means pollution preventions, prevention of climate change, prevention of global warming, prevention of emissions and toxins. Okay, those things, even the water, even clean water and sanitation under number 6, but even under number 13, it's possible. So life below water, yeah, of course, this is for the whole world. So you cannot think only the ground situations. Even you have to look into the sea, the below water life, life on land. Okay, life on land, climate, and the peace, justice, and strong institutions. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. Anyway, we have to have some checks and balances, and also we have to have some agencies to look into this, the measurable setting up the directions and all. So the peace, justice, and strong institutions. Yeah, so your judiciary and all the, yeah, whatever the, yeah, that is another important aspect. Item 16, contributing to peace. Not only 16, peace aspects are a lot here. And 17 is partnerships for the goals. So individual countries cannot achieve this. That's not possible. Yeah. So we have to share the ideas, we have to share the experience, we have to share the opinions. We can think better, but it may be our own judgment. But when it comes to the overall evaluations, overall scenarios, we may not be better. Other countries may be better. That's why. So the partnerships very important. Yeah. I think I have explained this 17 in fairly good way, because these are not new to you. These are not new to you. Okay. So any questions you can ask, you can look into literature. So anyway, these are defined by UN. No matter this is defined by UN or any agency. These 17 goals are quite reasonable. That's what I would say, this 17. If I define the goals for the sustainability, these things still should be included. These things still should be included. And if I define sustainable development goals, these 17 are surely included, and there will be a little more, depends on your the way you see it. Yeah. To me, it is more than 17, but anyway, once you are going to act on 17, there can be other process as well. Yeah. Anyway, this is very fine. The world acceptable goals presented by UN, accepted by UN. UN means the world, including Sri Lanka. We are citizens of this country, so we also have some responsibility and also liability for this. Yeah. So we as the technology students, it is very important to know about this. So when you are trying to do something, so these 17 maybe your, how to say, some facets, some areas, some aspects of your enterprise you can consider. And having this awareness, your maturity will be there even at this young age. Yeah. So we came to know this at very old age, compared to you. We are very old and now only we know this, but at your age, you are learning this. So one way you are learning at right time. Yeah. You are learning at right time. Of course, we are sharing this with our own experiences. Right? This is not just book knowledge, but you have this upfront knowledge and awareness makes you better. And when you are better, it's better for the country and the nation. So, as responsible young adults, it is very important for you to have a good understanding of these 17 goals. Even our president talks about this. Even some opposition parties, they talk about this because these are already important now. Good. Let me go to another slide. I got this from a website. Okay. I got this from a website of a famous multinational company that is the Shell Petroleum. Shell. It's a Dutch company. So one thing, anyway, this is nicely presented. That is one thing, and the other is those companies also focusing pretty much on this global brands. They are focusing on this. The Shell is an energy company, is world leading company, one of the world leading the Dutch companies in the world. Shell, so their website, I got this. So see, whenever they have these corporate goals, sustainable development is one such. So they cannot ignore this. If they ignore this, they will be ignored and one day they will be out of the business. Do you know that Shell company, the petroleum, but they are working on renewable energies now? Yes, they are working on renewable energies because their business, they are going to improve the sustainability aspects of the Shell company. Even their resources, they used to produce this petroleum. Now they are looking for the other sources as well. I hope you have heard about shale, shale. Shale is a kind of stone rich with petroleum. Now they are exploring the shale technologies as well. That's why the petrol become less expensive nowadays. Future some more cheaper because of this shale petroleum oil, shale oil. So we call it now the petroleum oil, the Middle East. They are doing the petroleum, the oil, the standard way. But US, Russia, Indonesia, still they are producing energy, the gas, petroleum and all, but they have the shale deposits. So they are now tapping that shale deposits to produce energy resources like oil. That's why in future don't expect for rising up the oil prices. That is not possible. Oil prices are going down day by day. Yeah. So don't worry about that. And the other point is now the technologies are coming, hybrid technologies, then the electric vehicle technology is quite old, but now all become economically and environmentally feasible. Solar cells, yeah, and the batteries technologies, fuel cell technologies, biofuels. Now alternative renewable fuels are coming up. Even Shell are on renewable fuel as well, renewable energies. So somehow we can see their business aspects. They are going to improve the sustainability there in their businesses. So in Shell, this 17, marked in yellow or orange here, affordable and clean energy. They are working on this. Okay. Also, they are working on climate actions. See, under climate actions, okay, climate actions, it is somehow several sectors are covered, they organize it. Item 7, they organize this way. Okay, that's how the Shell sees this based on their business and enterprise. Decent work. So they are covering this. See, they are really covering this 17, this 17 SDG goals based on their business landscape. That's how they are covering. They are defining this way. So it's very good that big companies, based on their businesses, they are what sectors they are strong, how they are contributing. So no one can say they are bad. Yeah. Petroleums, yeah, they are diversifying, they are improving, they are bringing in new technologies, new solutions, new directions. So that's how it is. So very important to look into this. So when you do your enterprise or when you write your project proposal, this will be a treasure for you. This will be a treasure for you. This will bring ideas. Instead of writing it as a business, writing it as a solution for you and for the society. Solutions, business solutions. It is not about making money. It's about contributing while surviving. Okay? While surviving. Contributing. So you are gaining. You are being survived and you are contributing. So that's how the future enterprises should be. So these are very important for you to think when you are going to start a business. How am I going to plan this? What are the features? What are the important things should I consider? Is it more than making money? How long shall I continue this? What would be the improvements of my future business? How should I start? At what point should I start this? If I start in this way, can I get the grants, the low interest loans, and the support from the societies because I'm going to do a good job for the society? That's why if you are wise enough and if you are knowledgeable enough, yeah, and if you are innovative enough, you can start any enterprise even now with 0 cent. Okay, there are ways and means. Think about this. So that is the bottom line of learning this for you. Okay? The prime, the big, a key objective of learning this. Yeah, that is very important. Okay. And I have shared a similar one. Yeah, I came to the next slide.